All right, so everybody, welcome to the newest installment of the Metahumans Mondays live stream here. If you're joining us on the show, if you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe. It's a fun show. We do it every single week on Mondays, free of course. We just talk about some of the cool things that happened this past week in the pop cultural realm and comic book world. Join me today. We've got the boy Blunder to the right. We don't have a visual, but he's here in Star Wars Force Spirit. So
Gotta get those Cara Dune figures.
Yeah, yeah, he's out there he's on the hunt. Above him, we got Josh. We got Josh back. How we doing, brother?
Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Fantastic. And then we got Vanessa, which on Instagram, if you want to give how can they find you on Instagram, Vanessa? We'll give you an early shout out here.
On Instagram, I'm usually under Buffy's Collection.
Awesome. And she's got some really cool comics. Actually, you have some really cool Thor comics you showed me recently. So if anyone's watching, you like Thor, give her a message. She has some really nice Silver Age Thor books. Really nice ones. So and lots of other stuff in her fantastic collection. So thank you everyone for joining me today. We have some awesome things to go over. A lot of big news has dropped. First big thing I want to go over today, for some of you that saw this, some of you this is news to you, but man, is the sports card market insane right now, and so is just the card market, period. Last week we talked about those Deadpool cards in the X-Force comics selling for money, and now we got the new, I mean, we kind of knew this was coming, but CGC is, I mean, it would have been dumb for them not to do this, right? But here we are. It's official. CGC is going to be grading sports cards now. So, of course, that means, your Marvel cards, too, which I actually think it's very fitting to have a Marvel Masterpiece card graded by CGC. I mean, who better, right? Yeah, I mean, they're doing sports cards now, and they partnered up with, Dave and Adams. But you can do your, so CSG, so Certified Sports Guarantee. And of course, they already did the trading cards, so they were already grading Pokemon and Magic and all that. But now, with the sports card realm, with the big weight that there is to grade your stuff at PSA, you can actually get your stuff graded at CGC. So here's a photo of someone that graded a Mickey Mantle, and I like the cases. I really do. I've always liked CGC cases, so it looks freaking great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It looks really great. I'd love to hold one in person. I know it's gonna happen soon, but I mean, I think it looks fantastic, to be honest. The Pokemon slabs already look great, but I mean, it transitioned very well into the sports cards. You know,
Makes you want to have like a mini CGC comic.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
I do enjoy my slabs that have off-size ash can books inside of them.
Uh-huh.
They're kind of cool to look at. I honestly didn't know that CGC didn't do sports cards already. It's kind of surprising to me. I mean, good for them. You'll often hear me say in discussions that grading has ruined comic book collecting. For one thing, you're not going to read those books ever again. Or, appreciate the interiors at all. And two, I mean, pricing, you look at eBay versus Overstreet. I mean, CGC pretty much determines the value of comic books currently. So,
yeah, well, I mean, I actually, I think that some things should be slabbed, most definitely. So, I have comics that I slab without question, and then I have books that I would never slab. So, there's books that I genuinely want to read over and over again and have in my collection, open them up, and so on and so forth. But then, there's some rare gems that I know I shouldn't be touching. You know what I mean? And
don't get me wrong. I'm no purist. You know, there's certainly plenty of stuff in my collection that's slabbed and will never come out.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah. Plus, that's what trades are for.
Double-edged sword, I guess.
Yeah, that's what trades are for sometimes too, you know, or hardcovers. Yeah. But yeah, like definitely, like I'm not gonna go around like you know, slabbing my X-Force 1. I'd rather just read that thing. You know what I mean? Like it's not worth the slab to me. But of course, I'm gonna slab like a Detective Comics 27 if I ever, you know what I mean, grab the hold of one. Like I think
Do you guys have sports card collections? I know that Pokemon's been popping for a while. I've even been stashing some Happy Meal decks from my 2-year-old that doesn't appreciate them. I don't really collect any sports cards, but it could probably be argued that comic book trading, superhero trading cards, you know, Marvel superhero trading cards was more a part of my childhood than actual comic books were.
Yeah, I mean, I had a big sports card collection for a while, and I sold it all at a place called Frankensons in the Inland Empire.
I love Frankensons.
Yeah,
Shout out to Frankensons.
And
you already know the vibes.
Yeah, and that was way back, and basically I flipped all those cards that I had, and I invested it, and I put that money into a specific comic book at the time, right? Yeah, I mean, it you know, I was into it. I don't really see myself getting back into it like that ever again, but you know what? The Marvel card thing aspect really interests me because I'd love to be able to find like a, you know, because some of those Marvel masterpieces, they have these like beautiful sketch cards in them. I don't know if you've seen them. They're gorgeous.
Oh, yeah. Joe Jusko changed my life when I was a kid.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and sometimes there's 1/1s in there, 1/8s, and you'll get like a, just, dude, I mean, imagine having like a Joe Jusko like 1/1 in there or something, or like some kind of art card. There's signed ones, there's parallels, there's a lot of cool stuff.
I know those 2021, the newest Marvel masterpieces. I didn't buy any of them, but I know the newest Marvel masterpieces came with actual 1/1 sketch cards in some packs. You know that they had.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
The actual Marvel masterpiece cards were actually the thing that got me into comic books when I was a kid.
Yeah.
My brother had a shoebox full of like baseball cards and football cards and stuff like that.
The good old
I snuck into his room.
Yeah.
I snuck into his room to look into them, and I found just one single Marvel masterpiece, Phoenix one.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, that thing was a beauty.
Yeah.
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 Then a few days later, the X-Men cartoon came out, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna watch it. I was a kid.
I love the 6-way connecting cards. You know, Phoenix in the middle, and then you'll have all the like integral Dark Phoenix characters around the other 6 cards or 9 cards. I guess it would be 9.
Yeah, some of those cards, the art it's so impressive on those though that even it makes the comic books look, you know what I mean? Like they're straight up like painted cover cards. They're gorgeous, you know.
And I saw slabbed. It's funny. Like I said, I guess they've been doing comic cards for a while, but I saw slabbed single comic book cards. You know, screwed between 2 pieces of plexiglass.
Oh yeah,
you know,
that.
20 years ago when I was a kid, and I'd never seen a CGC comic. You know, then, and you know, you could argue that this is more important for trading cards because it's certainly harder to keep those corners crispy on those cards than it is a comic book.
Yeah, and there's also a different grading process for them too, because they even go as far as like they get those little eyeglass things. It's fingerprints are a bigger deal on that stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like there's a lot of other factors that come into play.
Baseball cards and basically a lot of cards were like there were the investments of like the late 80s and early 90s, along with the Beanie Baby craze and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So people were, like, collecting those things like crazy.
Signed by some lady named Ruth.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. This kind of leads into the next bit with the cards. And this is not like, this is kind of recent public news, but There was a $360,000 sale, and it's the record right now for most expensive Pokemon cards sold. And it was a Blastoise test card. So I guess it doesn't have a backing on it. It's like a test card.
What the heck?
Yeah, and it went for $360K, and that's the record CGC card sale so far. But I expect to get this blown out of the water with all the sports cards, because just like you said right now, Josh, you're gonna start seeing those Babe Ruth cards and shit pretty soon now. You know what I mean?
Through the roof.
Yeah, yeah, it's gonna be psycho. I don't doubt we'll be talking about $1 million card here in the next couple months, or when the people start submitting all that stuff. But so far, the record for a CGC graded card is this Blastoise test card. So which is amazing for a Pokemon card, right? What I always tripped on the Pokemon cards was how easy people were able to fake them. I don't know if you've ever seen the fake Pokemon card, but that was a very I mean, we've seen a lot come in the shop actually here in the valley. We've seen some really fake ones, dude. Like so fake, it's crazy. Yeah.
I'm just a hair old for Pokemon. I mean, I didn't get into it, genuinely. I've got a cousin who's maybe 10 years younger than me, has a pretty big stash of his childhood Pokemon cards. I've been trying to get him off him for the last couple of weeks.
If you get him off him, now's the time to slab some of them. Maybe some of them are worth doing.
Yeah.
He's getting suspicious, though. He's starting to do internet searches. It's not looking good for me.
Back in the 90s, the way that we realized if they were fake or not, because we used to go to those Asian shops in Calexico.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and they would sell you the pack for like $1 instead of like the $2 or $3 at the store.
Yeah.
And the way that you would find out would be if you put it against the light, and if it was if you could see through it.
Ooh, yeah. I actually remember that.
That was a big indicator that it was a fake.
Yeah,
Chinese bootleg culture.
Yeah.
And then let's jump on from that to the other big topic of the show. So Ethan Hawke, actor Ethan Hawke, has been cast as the villain in Moon Knight. Well, we don't know who he is, right? But the spec is that he's possibly going to be Werewolf by Night, because Moon Knight's main villain is Bushman, and I mean, it doesn't look like he would be Bushman, right? If you look at Bushman, he doesn't look like Ethan Hawke could be. Actually, Bushman, I believe, is African American, so I don't think that Ethan Hawke would play him, and I wouldn't like that either. I'd rather they cast the real person who looks more like him, Yeah. So I mean, they're trying to see where Ethan Hawke would go towards, in which direction, and the spec is that he might be Werewolf by Night. That's the spec, right? There's been some other things. Someone I've seen, like in the rumor mill, like Dracula and all these things. They're going all over the place, but Werewolf by Night seems to be like where it's leaning right now. And supposedly he jumped on board with this because he's friends with Oscar Isaac, and Oscar Isaac is going to play Moon Knight, and that's where that's coming from. So you're starting to see a lot of these, Hollywood actors just jumping in the Marvel Universe now. Whereas before, a lot of them wouldn't have done it. Now they're like seeing like, okay, I'm all in for it kind of thing, and it's very interesting. Yeah.
Ethan Hawke's about to get real buff. He's going to be hitting the gym real hard. I think he gets typecast a lot as like vampires, or at least he has experience in those roles. I think Werewolf by Night is a good guess. It's an awesome property. Moon Knight appeared first in Werewolf by Night, did he not?
Yeah. Or Marvel Spotlight, I think. Marvel Spotlight 7 or something like that. But then it spun up into Werewolf by Night. Yeah.
And I don't think you're gonna see him as a vampire. I think they're already too heavily committed to 2 other vampire characters to have another one muddle it up.
Yeah.
But I like Ethan Hawke. He's gonna be cool, whoever he is, I'm sure.
Yeah. So
where he ends up being, we gotta start looking up at comics of who's gonna get the big reveal, and then everybody that comic's gonna go up in price. whatever character he ends up being.
Yeah, if it's Werewolf by Night, it's that Marvel Spotlight book that you're going to want to chase, you know?
I unfortunately am not sitting on any Werewolf by Night key issues.
They're freaking hard to come by, though, you know? They really are. They're tough.
I did dig up some Morbius, some magazine-sized Morbius stuff that I hope will get a little bump if that movie does well.
Yeah. Those ones have beautiful painted covers, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad Morbius. He's so sad.
Sad Morbius. Spinning off of that, we're going into the big book of the past week. And I actually was not aware of this until recent, but so Last Ronin #2 actually has IDW's largest print run ever, which is random because it's an issue #2. So largest print run on an issue #2. That is, who would have thought, right? I mean, the big thing with this is, I mean, kind of spoilers, kind of not. I mean, it's all over the place right now, kind of, but.
Isn't it also like getting ready for a second printing too?
Yes, which I'll go over right now. Yeah, so for anyone who hasn't read this and doesn't want to know, you might want to cover your ears for like 4 minutes right now while I go over this, starting now. So Michelangelo is the last Ronin.
It's confirmed now.
Yeah, it's confirmed, and yeah, so the book. I mean, but you know, it kind of doesn't really matter because you have to read the story to even see the dramatization of what happens and how he loses.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, which by the way, they don't really show you everything in this issue, so you still have to read the others. But yeah, him being the last Ronin is cool because he was always the goofy, least serious one, and now he has to be serious, you know. And it's just such a good read, such a good story. It's some of the best turtle writing some of the best comic writing really I've read.
Oh yeah,
quite a bit.
It's such solid character development because, like, you know, if it was Raphael, you know, big deal. We've seen Raphael broody and upset, you know.
Yeah.
But to see, you know, Cowabunga dude Mikey, you know, really broken up over, you know, his brother's ghost sort of haunting him it's awesome, man. It's awesome to watch the character change that way, and you feel for him.
Yeah, you do. You really do. I mean, one of the big things that happens in this issue, and this is the big thing about this issue. It's not even that Michelangelo is the last Ronin. It's weird how that got overshadowed. I almost would have hoped that they would have revealed that maybe like issue 3 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of revealed that too soon, to be honest. I mean, as cool as it is, because in this issue, what really takes the cake is the reveal of Casey Marie Jones, which is the daughter of Casey Jones and April O'Neil. So for this reason alone, that's why this book, in my opinion, is spec-worthy and hot, because it's her first appearance, and whether they decide to move forward with her or not, which I don't see how they're not going to. I mean, that in itself is a big key about this, you know, for the daughter to take the mantle.
Cosplay girls of the internet rejoice.
Yeah, this is probably gonna be a badass cosplay. You know what I mean? It's gonna be a badass cosplay.
I'm gonna get on the email to Kotobukiya in Japan. Needs to be.
Yeah, that's probably gonna go down.
That'd be gnarly.
There needs to be somebody in SolidWorks turning this into my next Bishoujo figure right now.
Casey Jones masks are also gonna increase in value. Yeah. This is big news. Honestly, it really is. Cool character. She starts off already really, really badass. Which kind of kicktails into what our usual every episode we always talk about a book to spec on, right? Unfortunately, the first print is like sold out at stores. I know we only had enough for pre-orders. They didn't send us the ones that we were supposed to put on the front stand. We barely had enough. We were actually short one. and I guess it's making sense now because they didn't make enough. So this is supposed to be the second print cover.
You heard it. You heard it here first. Frequent listener and friend of the show, Jeffrey Chow. Anything and everything at anything and everything.
Yeah, we had him
X2 on Instagram. Probably has first print copies left. So if you DM him in the next
DM
day
him
or so, you may be able
or right
to,
now
slide back out of those DMs with the last Ronin #2 first print.
slide in and slide like a slip and slides back in the day.
Yeah.
Put the water on it, just slide right through, grab one from him, and slide right back out. Yeah. So and you know what?
I'll put my discount code for his website in the description below.
Sweet. Which kind of this is I'll say this. With issue 3 coming out and stores trying to do variants, because I even tried a message to get a variant for issue 3 for the store, but we're working on it, and I didn't even get a confirmation or nothing, so it's gonna be hard. But I'll say this: someone's gonna win the race to this, right? But somebody's gonna put Casey Marie Jones on the cover. Someone's gonna do it. I don't know who's gonna do it. It's because we're looking at second print here, and she's not on it. Right? Issue 3 that they showed you in early solicitation just has Casey's mask on it. She's not on it. Right? So I feel like someone's going to do it, and whoever does it, I mean, that book will be fire. You know?
I don't know enough. I don't know about enough about the industry and how the artwork works. I guess it probably varies publisher to publisher, but I wonder, does IDW have enough? How much sway does who would it be? I guess their creative director have over their bullpen of artists plus the variant artists that they have contracts with for this book. Like, can they say hey, David Nakayama, do not put this character on this cover. Like, we're saving that for this.
Yeah, sometimes you have to ask permission for that stuff. Like our Batman exclusive. We had to go through a whole process just to get them to do that new Batman Blue costume on there, and they only got confirmation, then they allowed it. But sometimes you get told no, that you can't because they have a plan to do something. You know what I mean?
Because you could, as a cover artist, really plan that thing out. Like, I'm going to put this guy on there. I'm going to make this a hot book. Scarlet Witch is hot this week. She's not in the issue, but I'm throwing her on the cover.
Yep.
So
very possible. Yeah. So so that's the big thing right there. I mean, what are your guys' opinions on the long term of like Vanessa? What do you think about the character? Long term, a female Casey Jones. You know what I mean? Basically taking over, because we haven't really seen anything of him. He kind of disappeared from the books, period, for quite some time now. Even though his book kind of picked up steam.
Well, like they said, it's going to be very popular with a lot of cosplayers.
Yeah.
Like the minute if it becomes popular, it's going to become popular in the comic book long term.
2021, feel like?
What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So I think it's a good change. I don't know that 2021 is the climate for sort of meathead, Casey Jones. He was an awesome character. Don't get me wrong. I love Casey Jones, but the sort of following Mikey around and insulting him, in the Brooklyn accent. I don't know that he's as relevant as maybe he was, but I think badass daughter, dude, that's a good way to reboot the character.
Yeah.
And I think basically, back to the cosplay thing, I think anytime there's a sort of female interpretation of an already popular property like that, it's going to take off in that realm.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like with the Hawkeye thing right now.
Oh, yeah. Which, by the way, that actually looks like it's going to be a great show. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is a spec book I'm sitting on.
Yeah, Young Avengers, right?
Yeah.
Young Avengers is a cool book, though, because it's not just good for Kate Bishop, but there's a lot of other first appearances in that one book alone. So it's kind of like a modern giant size X-Men, sort of,
Yeah.
That's just a good book to just have. Yeah. Yeah, I recommend that if anyone doesn't have a copy of that. I mean, we haven't had a copy of that come in the store for a long time though, so I don't really see that book too often. But
yeah, for all you new comic book collectors out there, anytime there's a team first appearance, #1, grab that book.
Yeah, just grab it because their odds are pretty darn good. One of those characters is gonna take off running, right?
Cough. Teen Titan Academy. Cough.
Yeah. Well, you know what? That's why Strange Academy is so hot, right?
Yeah.
That's a good one too. I mean, shoot, if you got that, hold it, because I'd heard that this Harry Potter those rights aren't going anywhere. They're not handing them out to nobody right now. So Disney just made up their own Harry Potter. You know what I mean? So Strange Academy, there you go, with all the magic and everything. That's gonna pop off. How could that not be something in the future, right? Yeah. So, but yeah, without further ado, I mean, that's the show for tonight. Super fun. Thank you, all of you for joining us. And Josh, if you want to let our viewers know where they can find you at.
Yeah, so you can find me. I'm Nosh_1 on Instagram. I post comic book related stuff all the time. A lot of other stuff too. You can always find me in Ruben's Sunday comic book live sales on Instagram. And yeah, Instagram's where it's at.
Yep. Vanessa?
I am on Instagram, Buffy's Collection. And on Twitter, I have an account as well where I talk mostly about The Flash.
Awesome.
So,
Ooh.
yeah,
Love The
one's
Flash.
Buffy loves Supercat. So, yeah, mostly Flash stuff being posted there.
Awesome.
Is that comic book Flash stuff exclusively, or is that the TV show?
Mostly the TV show.
Okay.
Cool. Great show, by the way. Yeah. And Francisco.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at the.boyblunder, and I share a lot of comic stuff and a lot of love for Nightwing.
Yeah, and also Francisco, you just showed me your you have this you just submitted to that Jason David Frank signing. So anyone that saw that video, if you guys saw that book that JDF signed with both signatures as Tommy and right?
Yeah, Jason David Frank with green and Tommy with gold.
Yeah, that was Francisco's book. He's the only one that got that double sig like that. So congrats to you, man. That was
I'm
badass.
excited to get him in, dude. I can't wait to see him.
Dude, 12-year-old me is so stoked on that.
Yeah. And for me and Metahumans, you can find us at Metahumans Comics on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that. Sundays at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, you can see us on Instagram doing live comic auctions, and then we follow that up on Facebook. And yeah, please like, subscribe. I just got confirmation David Nakayama is gonna jump on board with us here, so stay tuned. I'm gonna have everyone in our Sunday auctions in our Instagram. Anyone that follows us, we're gonna have you submit some questions, and we're gonna literally ask David whatever you guys want to ask him. So we'll have him on here, and yeah, that's gonna be fun. That'll be our first big guest on
for
here.
next week.
No, I'm not sure if it's next week. It might be the week after, but it's gonna be a week before the book comes out. So we got till March 10th. You know?
I gotta get in his good graces because I got a hearty stack of books for signatures.
Yeah. So hey, we're gonna get.
I gotta really turn the charm on for that one.
Yeah. You know what? I'd love to. I already have a question for him. Actually, I'm actually curious what his favorite. He's done so many covers. I'm always curious what like an artist's favorite cover is, right? Or like what their answer is to where like, because when you're like him and you do so many amazing covers, like what does he gravitate towards answering as like what his favorite cover is, right?
Can he even remember them all?
Yeah, he has a big catalog.
I'll say one thing for David Nakayama. I meant to bring this up on the other show or put it in the chat, but the man loves a love triangle. Your book has the Black Cat and Mary Jane thing going on it, and then I picked up from him just a while back.
Yeah.
The homage to that J. Scott Campbell cover.
Oh,
where it's,
yeah.
Emma Frost and Jean Grey, making out with the X-Men boys on the cover.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that one.
That's a trick. That's a trick that he pulls out of his pocket. You know, more than once.
Yeah, I got that book. I got the book just for the cover on its own.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're gonna get to ask the man that, so that's gonna be awesome. So, thank you everyone for joining. Have a great week, and again, stay tuned. So we're gonna have you all submit your questions, and then we'll see you all here next Monday. All right. So, take care, stay tuned, and read some comics. All right.